Hey, this is Sarah here with Naturally Inspirational, and today you get a behind the scene looks of what it's like for me to ship out a product. So you get to actually watch me ship out a few different orders today, and I actually have to shrink wrap them and get them ready to actually ship out because we ran out. So our stock is down to zero, besides for the few that are on our discounts. But these are brand new products, so we're gonna make these customers happy and get these orders shipped out today. And you're gonna come along with me and actually watch me ship them. So sometimes we ship things in boxes, sometimes we ship them in bubble mailers. It all depends on the best way of action to ship them, let alone if it's in the US or out of the US. I typically ship through the USPS, not UPS, because UPS does normally bigger packages and they're very hard on their packages. So I like to ship them USPS because I find that I can put insurance on it and I can guarantee that that customer gets it. So I'm very particular about my shipping. Some people are like, oh, Sarah, you don't know nothing about shipping. Actually, I know quite a bit. I have worked at 3 different facilities. And it is sad when I know more information than the actually shipping department knows. Like when you have an order come in and the bill that is on the pallet does not have your address on it, it's billed for a completely different state. I'm sorry, I will not accept something that is not written to me that I've ordered. Simple as that. They went about it their own way, but I have my own personal preference. Alrighty, so without any further ado, we are going to be jumping into you get to actually watch me shrink wrap some product, box it up, and ship it out. So I hope you enjoy. So the 2 products that we will be shipping out today is our DMSO roll-ons. So these are 2 brand new in the bottles. I don't have them shrink wrapped yet, so yes, I can open them. They are the metal ball that's on the inside, plastic, and yes, if you want to reuse your bottle, you just have to wiggle this top out and it does pop out. A lot of people ask me that question. Yes, they're reusable. Yes, they're cleanable. And then I just screw the cap back on. And voila, magically. Fun question that I get asked about these roll-on bottles that I use with the metal balls is how do you get them out? Well, my first batch, I literally used my fingers to go ahead and pull them out and use my palm to push them back in. And after doing about 20 of those bottles, my hands were yelling at me. They're like, this is not good. This is not normal. Don't do that. Then I ordered a different batch of bottles from a different company and they shipped me one of these. And I know for a fact you can go on Amazon and buy these because I've seen them and I didn't know what they were for. So I'm going to inform you because now I know what they're for. So these are really cool. They have little ledges on them. And those little ledges can be used to get in there and pop the plastic ball piece out. I'm not actually going to, but I'll kind of show you. So you can put it in here, get it under there, and go pop. Or if you're trying to put the ball in, there is this one right here that I like to use because it's got the grooves to where I can line it up with the ball on the top. And I can just push it down with both fingers and go boop. It's really nice, easy to use, takes the pressure off the hands. And I didn't have to worry about how to open them and close them, which was really nice. So that's just one of the fun facts about these. Another fact that I've had feedback on is my labels. So I do know that from my products that are on the discounted, because the labels have been fading and the containers had leaked because it was the first batch I ever made and I didn't realize you can overfill the jars. Literally, I didn't think that was quite possible considering I left room below the ball, but I guess there's enough air pressure that it decided to leak, especially with the heat in here in Michigan with the summer. So I have now discovered that some customers are contacting me and being like, I've gotten your roll-on DMSO bottles. Well, this label is a thermal label and it is a very good adhesive. It stays on there. And that is 100% true. The only thing I didn't keep in mind was the fact that people are going to be grabbing this a lot and they could have the oils on their hands or just after so many times of grabbing it and shuffling it that they actually wear down. Like you can't read the labels at all. So I had to come up with a solution for that. So I do have a certain amount of bottles with these thermal labels on there because I'm still waiting for my new labels to come in because they're oil resistant, wear down resistant, more professional based. I want to make sure you guys can read these. When it comes to DMSO, you really want to be precautionary and be able to read the warning symbols, especially if you have a family member you're giving it to. So I am going the extra mile to make sure there is going to be a good label on here. So that is a change coming in the future, but don't worry, it's going to look just the same. Literally has all the same sayings laid out the exact same way. It's just going to be a little bit of a different sticker on the jar so it doesn't wear off. Best way to put it. So to the customers that had messaged me complaining about the DMSO labels wearing down, thank you for your feedback. And yes, we are going to fix it. And I like to tell all my customers all the time, I love having positive feedback. but I also love having negative feedback because that helps me to grow and make things better. So I know some of my labels aren't 100% the greatest. I get it. I'm right there with you. And sometimes I just have to work through the amount of stickers I have until I can finally change things out. So it's just one of those ordeals to where I had all these already made. Instead of wasting them, I'm going to use them. I ordered new labels, got them coming in. A few other of my salves. The labels are a little bit harder to read on the dandelion air calendula salves. I know that one's another one as well. That some people, I have a hard time reading them sometimes as well. But the color designates more or less of what salve it is. So it's one of those ordeals of once I finally run out of the labels, I'm going to have to switch it up, especially since I recently switched thermal printers. So on my link tree, I have a pink thermal printer, which I still love, still will use, especially if you're using very small labels. And now I'm using a Rollo printer, and that one is more professional. I can print faster from my phone, easier, and sizings and such. So it's a personal preference of what thermal printer you want to use. But for me, I currently have two of them, and I'm really liking my Rollo because I don't have to rely on an app. And the reason I say that is because Rollo doesn't use an app. Like, yes, it does have an app for settings and such. I don't use it. I just use it as a normal printer. Okay, I need to print the shipping label. Print, done. If I was to use my other thermal printer, I would have had to plug it in, turn it on, put the label in, which is what I would have to do right now, and then open the app if it's not already been updated and try to go ahead. And if I'm printing a label, I have to go find my label. If I'm printing a shipping label, I can PDF it in there and then I have to go in and size it down, then I can print it. So there's extra steps with it, but the problem that I was having with it is their app did a complete update and they completely erased all of my labels. So I had to do all of my labels from scratch. Yes, it was a headache. But we managed, we got through it. I knew exactly what my labels looked like. I went on Canva, created all of my labels again, and now I'm using the Rollo to go ahead and create my labels. The only downfall I have found with the Rollo printer is it doesn't size down to a 1 inch. And that's one of the things I use a lot of. So, like my 2 ounce jars of salves that I have, that's a 1 inch circle that's on the top of 1 inch by 1 inch. And it's literally so small that that printer doesn't size down to it. So I have to rely on my old printer. So those labels are probably going to have to change in the future. And I just haven't gotten there yet to go ahead and figure out what I'm doing because I'm working through the labels that I have. So for all of you that are out there supporting me, seriously, I thank you for dealing with me as we're selling the products and I'm aware some of the labels do need help and I need to improve them and we will get there. It's just going to take a little bit of time. So please bear with me as we are going through label changes and such coming up into the end of 2026. 2027 is probably going to be when everything starts to transition more. But as of right now today, this is one of the jars that we are going to be sealing up. Each product is different how I seal them. For example, is my bars of soap. I would put them in the shrink wrap bag, seal it shut, and then I would heat shrink it. Well, for these, I don't have to go ahead and seal them 100%, considering we're just trying to make sure the cap stays on. So we're going to put it in the baggie, shrink wrap it, and it is set to go. So basically, it's going to have its own little teeny tiny baggie. And from there, if I'm shipping it worldwide, these will be going into boxes, little teeny tiny boxes to go ahead and ship out. I have tested these, so I do know some people have gotten boxes because it's in a little box into a bubble container. And I haven't had anyone come back complaining of it being broken, damaged, or anything. So I'm taking that as a positive. And I'm not kidding you. If you get product that's broken with us, please message us. I would love to go ahead and help you and make you happier because the last thing I want is to get a package and go, great, it broke in the mail. Now what am I going to do? Are they going to cover it? Are they going to help? But Naturally Inspirational, I believe it's from my table to your table. If it comes in broken, I need a picture of it and I need your order number and we will get you taken care of. We believe in customer satisfaction here at Naturally Inspirational because I like to treat my customers as family. It's very important to me. So with that being said, we're going to go get a heat gun. So usually when I go ahead and make my shrink wrap things, I have a few different size bags and I do buy these off of Amazon because I'm not buying the big roll of film that you have to cut and everything. I don't have that system, especially since it's more expensive and it needs more space, which I don't currently have in my house. So I buy them pre-sized already so then I can just slide my product in there and shrink wrap it. Open this bad boy up and get it going. Get one baggie. And then I like to take the tops of my products and put them in the side that's already sealed. So this is basically a bag. There's only one opening in it at the top. So we're going to shrink wrap that like so. I'm going to get the other one because once I turn my heat gun on, I don't like to shut it off unless I absolutely have to because it has to warm up and I feel like it draws more power that way. So if I can help doing everything in one shot. So this is my heat gun. It is something you can buy at a hardware store, very easy to make. A lot of people buy this for vinyl use. So now that this is plugged in, we are ready to use it. And you do have to be precautionary because this tip will get very hot once you turn it on. It sounds like a hair dryer, but talk about temperature difference. This will burn your hair off. So I wouldn't recommend using it for your hair. Takes a few minutes, even that. I like to do the tip to my products first. This way screen drops and I'm not pretty good. I just like to flatten it out. Usually I'm wearing pants, so I can use the hand leg to go ahead and flatten it. Because last thing you want is somebody getting poked by one of these things because they're so pointy. So you do have, I'm very precautionary of it. So just like that, it's now shrink wrap. Now to do the next, voila, and that is all done. It took me less than a minute to go ahead and shrink wrap both of these bad boys, and now we're ready to ship them. So I like to go ahead and use my cell phone to go ahead and do all my orders because it's easier to maneuver around my house and check on orders and everything. So I am one of those cell phone people more than a computer person, but I do tend to use a computer a lot more for different editing reasons. So we do have a few different orders here. We are going to get these two out first. And when I go ahead and look at my orders, I try to look, I'm like, okay, if it came in on a Thursday, I'm going to ship it out on a Monday because my weekend I usually like to spend with my family and my kids. I try to prioritize. And when I get to like today is Sunday, today is mail day. So this way everything goes out Monday as one. I do look at those orders and make sure that nobody like placed an order on Thursday and then we're like, oh, I want to order another one and they put another order in. If they put another order in and it's going to the same address, I'll refund the shipping on the one order, so this way everything gets shipped as one in one box. If I can save my customers money, I will. I have people all the time that message me, I just placed another order and I had to pay the shipping. Can you combine them? Absolutely. I'm not too worried about it. I can go in and refund it. I manage all my orders on my phone, very easy with a few clicks, and I try to pay attention as much as possible to making sure my customers are satisfied, taken care of, and are happy with the results that they have. So we are going to do Josh's first today. And he ordered a deep roll-on. He ordered one. We're going to create the shipping label for it. So right back here is my little Rollo printer that we're going to be using. And it's quite simple. So we are going to ship the shipping label. Now let the magic begin. And just like that, we have a shipping label. So that order is complete, minus putting it in the box and shipping it. So I like to go ahead, if I only have a few orders, I'll go ahead and I'll print them all out and I'll put the products on top of the shipping label and then I'll come back and I will box everything up and seal them. But if it's a more complicated order of multiple items, I will do that one individually. I used to work in a shipping office where we had baskets per order and it was literally all the products in that basket, putting the shipping label and everything. And then you spent the time packaging them all up and shipping them out. And you do all the shipping labels first and then you would package it all up and ship it. And for me, I had a hard time wrapping my head around that as a young child. But now that I'm older, I'm like, well, the paperwork states exactly what it is and you already have the weight, so you know exactly what's going in the box as long as you have the same size box. So some people get very confused and unsure of themselves when it comes to shipping, especially since most of us at home, we work at another company that doesn't deal with shipping. We go to the post office, UPS store, and we trust their pricing. Well, most of the time when you're going that route, it is like an arm and a leg to ship something. So thankfully, if going through a business, they actually like Shopify has a shipping discount. So you can actually make sure your shipping rate stays lower than if you were going to the post office. Because if I went to the post office to ship this little jar out in a 4x4x4 box, they probably want to charge me like $15 just to ship it. And that for me is outrageous. So trying to go ahead and make sure everything's covered. I like Shopify because it helps me get lower rates. And I honestly trust it. So if you're looking to start a business, I like Shopify. It gives me lots of options to go ahead and flow. I don't end up having a lot of errors with my website of the crashing as much. I used to use WooCommerce on my website and I get an email once a week at least that my website crashed for 30 minutes. And I really didn't appreciate that. So it's a personal preference at that point. So we're going to ship out another. This one's going to go to Texas. That one was South Carolina. Woohoo! Going across the states. Plus, a fun fact, if you ever have a shipment come back to you and you want to know whose it is, it's really nice to have the packing order in there to be able to identify what's in the box, what order it went to, and who's responsible for it, because then you can contact them and say, hey, I have to say I have something wrong with your address. This order was not able to be delivered. Can you message us back and we can move forward? Alrighty, so this one is a dandelion salve order for that is a $2.99 shipping in the US. And we'll have to go collect these samples and I will have to bring them back and show you guys and see how I actually have been packaging them up, because the way that I was doing it was in paper envelopes, which I'm pretty sure I ended after because I had purchased over 5,000 shipping envelopes and the post office was breaking them open because their machines, even though it said non-machinable, they were still running them through their machines, which was creating my samples to bust open, which was very annoying and I didn't like it. So we now have a new method that I don't get feedback on much of any negativity of them opening because they're bubble mailers. So with that being said, now we're shipping this order. What's that? There's all those. Okay, so the salve samples that I need to collect are the dandelion yarrow and dandelion salve. That's pretty simple. Now that I have everything printed, customers have been notified of their tracking information, and we're going to get these out into the mailbox. So we're back, and I got all of my shipping supplies. I got my 2 boxes to ship out, and yes, I got a ton of these mailers, but these are our new mailers for our samples because they are bubble mailers. They are not compostable, but at least they don't open my samples in the mail, so I'll take that as a win. My other bubble mailers that I've always purchased, they were compostable, which I really like because I don't like putting plastic out into the world if I can help it, which is why a lot of the times you'll see Naturally Inspirational work through a recycling box or you'll get an Amazon box with our products in it because I order from Amazon all the time. And if I can't, I'll burn the boxes versus sending it to landfill. But if I can reuse the box to ship something, 100% I will. And I even have boxes, packing material down here that's not plastic. I do have a bubble plastic back there and some recycled bubble mailer plastic from Amazon I've gotten that I've saved. So Naturally Inspirational really does try to recycle the things that I get in and ship it back out. And if you're a customer that is very particular about the items that you get in the mail, 2, 3 years ago, I had a request of, I want to have a package shipped to me, but I need it to be 100% paper. So I contacted the customer. I informed them the product is shrink wrapped in a plastic thing to go ahead and make sure there's no contamination. It's brand new, it's not been opened. Plus, it helps keep it sealed in the shipping. They said that's fine, but the packaging, it has to be all paper. And I'm like, okay, no problem. I'll be having paper to go around the product to keep it from shaking and breaking in the box, or bubble mailer. And it went into a paper cardboard box, or I used my compostable shipping mailers, which are these. And they do say compostable on them. So there are those, and I have used a ton of those in the past. And I'm now switching over to a lot more boxes than bubble mailers because I've realized people grab bubble mailers and throw them. And I was using them for my olive oils for Amazon, and Amazon was having a lot of things come back not so good. So we have our boxes here. These are 4x4 boxes. I got 2 of them. So we are going to get these packaged up for the roll-on to be able to ship out. So in these containers, these are samples. And yes, these are the samples that people can request on my website. It's $2.99 shipping in the US. You can get 1 sample or 2 samples for free. There's no cost to these. I do make these at home myself. So that is a fun video to kind of watch because it's kind of time consuming for me. But I also find it therapeutic to fill up these samples, seal them, and have a bunch of them on hand. It's like, to me, if you ever felt like holding $1 million in your hand and you just feel like throwing them in the air, these samples do about the same joy of that, of throwing them up in the air and then you having to pick them all up, or like the 52 card pickup. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and make this order sample all complete. So we have 1 dandelion sample here, and yes, there's a QR code on the back, and the samples say what they are on the bottom of the QR code, and on the side you can see the pretty product. So that is our dandelion sample. Close this container back up. And this one is the calendula sample. So you got the QR code on the back. You got the words on the bottom there that say the dandelion calendula sample. And there's the pretty sab in here. And I know you're probably thinking it's not going to go very far. And I will say the reason that they are the size that they are is because most people do not complain about the amount that's in there. And it's because a little bit goes a long ways. A lot of times in my booth, I have to have paper towel handy for the people that are getting samples out of the container at the booth that never tried it before. And they asked me for a paper towel because it got too much and they didn't realize how far it went. And now it's really messy and all over the place. So A little bit of these samples go a long ways, which is why they're so small. So with that being said, voila. I'm going to put the shipping label on the outside, like so. Boom. Flip that over. Okay, that's rolled up. Unroll it. So I have discovered that that little extra paper helps it slide in. Over here, I have the wonderful paperwork all ready together for my samples that I send out. So these are all hand printed here in my home. So I tried to save money with my own printer because I have my own ink and paper that I purchased, and then I literally bend them all and made them all. So we have a thank you for signing up to receive your free samples. We also have this wonderful diagram with QR codes of how you can purchase them on Amazon. And on this side is how you could go ahead and get your free samples as well, and how you can find us at Amazon. So that's a cute little packet there. And that brochure, and I bend it in half. And then I take the two samples and I put them kind of sandwiched like that so that they're not stuck on top of each other. So hopefully they don't get too squished in the package. Plus, the more flat it is, the better the post office is happy. So make sure that's flat, and then we're going to bend this up around, and we just created a sandwich. And that sandwich fits perfectly inside of these envelopes, like so. And then I have the sticker paper that I take off, which sticks to everything just about, and then I seal it, and it is ready to go in the mail. And look how flat it is. That is a sample mailer right there. So you will get it probably in a black envelope, just like this one. Now for the fun part, put these boxes together. I do have to tape them. Alrighty, so what we do, you've never taped the box before? I'm sorry, but this is like the most basic shipping method that you have to know how to do. How to close a box and how to tape it. So I am not the greatest at taping them, but I do get them taped eventually. And if they're heavier products, I do double tape. But since this is one little teeny tiny, I'm only going to tape it once. And then the other side, once everything's in it, I'm going to tape it and be done. Alrighty. So here is this bad boy. Okay. Both of these are now shut. And I love my paper. My paper is a large roll of paper, but they're cut so I can stretch them out. And I don't know if any of my customers like it, but I like it, so I use it. So you go ahead and you stretch it out, and you put your product in there, and you can wrap it all up in there. So, like so. And well, it's basically how much of a mess can you make without making a mess. And then I put it in the box. So, with that being said, rip this side off, stretch it, because I can open it just like so, going ahead and grabbing the product. Sometimes I roll it in there and then just see what I can go ahead and make. So the whole point is trying to make it so the holes are open on the paper, because then it's more thick, and then you shove it in the box. We're going to take off the shipping label like so and stick it on. So with that said, we're going to put the invoice inside. Come over here, grab a brochure, bend it in half, and we're going to put that inside as well. And folding it up, I try not to tape over top of the shipping label so the post office isn't too mad at me. And then we tape it all up. And now this bad boy is ready to go. Alrighty, so that one is done. Now we're going to work on the next one. So shipping label. And shipping labels are typically a 4x6. So considering this is a 4x4 box, it makes perfect sense why it is the way that it is. So we're going to bend this, put that in there, grab a brochure, or sometimes it's a business card, because inside of my brochures, there are discount codes. So you can go ahead and get on the website and get 10% off your next order. And then put that in there. And now we are going to close it up. Yep, I still did it backwards. And tape. Waza! Now these bad boys are ready for mailbox. Thank you for watching me go ahead and package up. If you have any questions, comment below, like, follow for more, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you for joining us today.